here at Kings Island, which, as many of you know, is my home park, and we're here for the Halloween haunt. Big difference this year compared to previous years is, unfortunately, as part of the Six Flags merger, they adopted the unfortunate practice of the haunts themselves are no longer included with admission. So this begs the question, does Halloween haunt suck now? We'll have to see. We're waiting for darkness to set foot and things to get much darker and everything to really embrace the mood that is Halloween haunt. Some of my favorite times of the year. I love everything here, especially because it's prime night ride season. Let's go enjoy this amazing park. All right, first things first, as the park is about to come alive and switch over to haunt mode, we will go up to International Street, where they actually have a pretty cool show that really kicks everything off and gets everything going. Pyrotechnics, the monsters come alive, and then the fog descends upon Kings Island. So let's go check that out first.
Wonderful! Oh, you look so lively, the lot of you. I mean, you are wearing those jerseys, aren't you? Ohio State. What have they done lately? Are you scared? No! Are you afraid? No! Well, you should be. Well, let's not keep them waiting. Welcome to Kings Island's Halloween haunt. We've been expecting you.
All right, Kings Island is now alive as a Halloween haunt. You can see that it is still bright outside. We got about an hour until the sun sets, so we're gonna enjoy like a sunrise ride on like Diamondback or something like that. But really, like I mentioned before, the prime time is when things become dark and everything really comes alive. Already see a bunch of fog going around everywhere. I gotta imagine wonder how many gallons of that fog juice they use in a night, because this place really has so much that covers everything. It's crazy. Kicking it off with a sunset ride on Diamondback, which, you know, that is one of my favorite night rides. It is, obviously, it's not quite night yet. We'll hopefully get a little bit on that, another ride on that later as the darkness does set. But side note, if you're ever doing row 2, that's just as good as row 1, and I honestly think the airtime might actually be a little stronger in the front versus the back. Definitely do want to do both. It's a little smoother too. You don't have as much of that rattle, but row 2, you just, because of the stadium staggering of the seating, you just blast into those hills and you can feel the full force of that speed of that ride. I'm definitely more on Diamondback than a ride. Still like ride a lot, but nah, Diamondback's incredible. One of the best B&M hypers there is. But I think we're gonna, as the darkness is setting, see what else we can find around here. Maybe get on Mystic. I'm not really sure what we'll ride next, but definitely get on something good. So let's see what we'll do. All right, first night ride done. Got a back row ride on Mystic Timbers, and good God, I forget how good of a night ride that is. It's really overshadowed by the Beast because, you know, the Beast is, well, the Beast, but it is an incredible night ride. It really, at this time, a lot of times my biggest complaint is they forget to turn off the lights for the river raft in the back. This time, not the case. They really had it all going, and it was pitch black back there. Whew. Phenomenal ride. They also managed to have everything with, they've got like a fog machine on after the, kind of by the river raft area, so really adds a ton of ambiance, something I love that Spark does. I think the Beast does that too. We'll definitely have to check that out a little bit later, but amazing ride. Oh, that was so good. But let's see here. We'll have to see what else we're gonna do. and I'm gonna kind of just walk around, I think, just to experience what the haunt's like when you are not waiting in these giant lines. Like, I'm actually walking by The Conjuring, the brand new thing, extra edition one, that apparently is supposed to be really good, but I won't know. I'm not paying extra for it, so let's just see what we can get for free.
Oh, we have a bed, I see. We're down a cult! Okay!
So while the actual haunts themselves are an additional charge, and you can get either a single use or just get a wristband for the whole day, kind of like how you do with the fast lane, that kind of stuff. But what is included is there are still, I believe, 4 scare zones you can just walk through. And that does not cost anything additionally. Lots of good fog effects. You got some scare actors going around. Definitely put your head on a swivel if you're a little frightened, because they will come out and definitely startle you for sure with chainsaws and stuff like that. But it's pretty awesome. I actually think it's really impressive with everything like that, but it's cool. It's really cool. Yeah, it would be nice if really going through haunts is your thing. I have noticed that it doesn't look like the lines are crazy long, and that's probably because it is an extra upcharge attraction. It's not gonna be hopefully an hour, 2-hour wait to go through one maze like I think it was previously. So if that's worth it to you, maybe that's a fair trade-off. Overall, I'm enjoying just the way the vibes of this park are. They're just a fantastic way. There's fog everywhere, everything's lit up beautifully, and everything's kind of badass looking. It's great. Gotta say, the vibes are so cool at haunts. Like, you got like a rave going on over in Area 72 with Orion and Flight of Fear. So Orion, that is honestly, if you got time, definitely do it. But for a night ride, it's one of the weaker ones, just because it is so well lit when it comes to the actual supports. So you can really see everywhere you're kind of heading to when you're going on it. Now I have to say, if you are actually going on the first drop, that thing is incredible as a first drop. You really do drop into the darkness 300 feet down. So that is awesome. But overall, in comparison, like Diamondback, the Beast, and all those other ones, it kind of pales in comparison. It's still a solid night ride, but when the park's got so many great night rides, the others definitely come out on top for sure.
Right flag over here.
International Street was really cool during this haunt, because you've got all the blood red fountains and the fire effects that go off periodically. But I believe it's at the top of the hour they actually have a show. We're playing Enter Sandman from Metallica, and there was just fire effects and everywhere. It reminded me a lot of like World of Color, just a more death metal version of it. But it was awesome. I couldn't believe how many flame effects were going on when that was going on. That was badass. So this is really impressing me. I've only done a few haunt events. I really need to get down to Universal to do Horror Nights. I think the plan is to do that next year, and I know that's going to blow this place out of the water. It should. It's a lot more expensive and a lot more prestigious. But for a regional park, I have to say Kings Island is just really steps up the game for a haunt. I mean, I grew up going to like Scarowinds, and Scarowinds is fine, but it didn't hold a candle to this. Even Cedar Point, the effects and everything, this just blows it up, both of those out of the water. This is just such an incredible, it's so cool. But yeah, I can see why people get obsessed with this kind of stuff. I'm not a huge Halloween person myself, but even I'm like, well, this is impressive. So Banshee, that is another great night ride. The first portion of it, when you're going through the first drop through the loop that wraps around the lift hill, that portion is pretty well lit, so it's not quite as elite as I'd like it to be. But once you get past that and you actually go into the back area where Son of Beast used to be, that whole area is actually really dark. So other than a few tombstones that are lit up a little bit further down the track, great night ride. Another one is definitely hit up like the Bat. That is a fantastic night ride. So this park is just filled with incredible night rides. That's a beautiful thing about normally during the summer, you can only pick one just because of how late the park is open, only until 10, and the sun will set about 9. So you really only got one shot at a night ride there. Versus here, you got all night, and it's fantastic, especially if you can snag a nice quiet day where the night rides are going on. All right, we're just gonna do a few more rides. Like I said, I need to get on Diamondback and the Beast for our night rides to finish off the night. But one thing is, I know there's a closing show, and I've seen it before, and it's really cool. Lots of fire effects, lots of lasers. So that's definitely the last thing we're gonna do, close out the video. Definitely have to say, yes, like I said, it's disappointing about the fact that things are additional cost when that used to be free, but I'm still really having a blast here. It indeed does not suck here at Kings Island with that, everything. All right, so Diamondback at night. I know I mentioned earlier how I got a Twilight ride, but whew, man, at night, that's something else. It is, honestly, I think it's the second best night ride in the park. It is really pitch black back there. There isn't much you can see. Once you go over that first drop, it is really dark. Unlike Orion, they don't light nothing back there. Those supports are pitch black. You got pretty close to a new moon night tonight, and it's just dark. So highly recommend, don't miss out on Diamondback. It is incredible at night. That makes just one more to do, so we need to get over to the Beast to enjoy some night rides on that fun. So let's go. Just finished with the last ride of the night on the Beast, but don't worry, we're gonna have to do one more last thing before we head out. But man, I mean, it's got a reputation for a reason. Some people say it's the best night ride in the world. I don't think it's quite on that level personally. It is still one of my favorites. Firstly, you know, no shocker, the Voyage is the greatest night ride ever made. So yeah, it's still incredible, especially if you manage to get a new moon night like tonight. There's just nothing else out there. It's pitch black and you just race through it, especially from that second tunnel onward. You really haul ass, and then that final helix is just insanity. It really feels like it's out of control, but it is amazing. All the night rides here are incredible. So, but like I said, we got one more last thing to do before we head out of the park. I want to make sure and check out that closing show as everything says goodnight with the monsters retreating. And there's a really sweet show that happens with the pyrotechnics and everything, kind of similar to what with the pretty sweet show like I mentioned before. So let's go check that out for one last thing.
Looks like we're all here. It's time, my fellow creatures.
All right, so we're gonna call it a night here at Kings Island's Halloween Haunt. Now, that begs the question, with the upcharge, does it suck now? And no. Man, I'm still having a blast here. Like, yeah, it'd be cool to do the haunts, and in reality, I kind of think that, like I mentioned before, I think if you do the haunts and you pay for them, the lines are shorter because of the fact that obviously not as many people are gonna be doing it. They're gonna be like me, who doesn't do it. They do everything else in the park. When it comes to the actual attraction wait times, like the roller coasters and all that stuff, I didn't really notice it being busier than normal. Like, yeah, they're busy, but they're always busy this time of year, even when it was free last year. You're still looking, this is a Sunday right here, and you're looking like a 45-minute to an hour wait or more. I know the Beast was a little bit longer, but the Beast is always long for a night ride because legendary night ride, blah, blah, blah. You all know it's incredible. But I have to say, between being able to do as many night rides as you want, being able to still enjoy the ambiance because around everything is still amazing. International Street has an incredible show on the top of the hour. They got flames everywhere. And then as they say goodnight to everybody, they have a bunch of pyrotechnics go off and lasers, and all the monsters gather together right at the front of the park to say goodnight. It's pretty impressive, honestly. Great showmanship. I've done a few other Cedar Fair haunts, and by far Kings Island's the best. It's not even close. I still need to do like Not Scary Farm because everyone hypes that up quite a bit. And of course, while it's not Cedar Fair, I need to get over to Halloween Horror Nights for Universal because that is the king. And as much as I'm impressed with this place, I don't think this is going to be better than Halloween Horror Nights. That's just ludicrous. It's got a reputation for a reason. But as for everything here, I had a blast. Come to Kings Island for the Halloween Haunt. It's amazing. Like, it's so well done. There's fog everywhere. Honestly, it's kind of insane how much fog they use and everything like that. The walkthrough, everything, like the scare zones are still able to do, and they haven't cut back on that. There's still lots of things to do in between each one. And like I said, International Street is really cool, both at the top of the hour and at the end of the night where they've got their show. It's amazing. Really well done. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to be going to, in my opinion, the best park for night rides, and that's going to be Holiday World. Getting some Voyage night rides along with everything else. That is going to be incredible. So that's going to be kind of our send-off for the regular season. Don't forget, we're going to Germany for Christmas markets, Phantasialand, and Europa Park. But everyone, have a fantastic night. Happy Halloween, and enjoy everything out here. Take care.